I've looked at enough of these political streamers to sort them all into their unique categories. Those categories being crazy transgender, beta male cuck whose girlfriend hates him, and pedophile. Hunter Avallone is a very interesting figure because he's showing us what iDubbbz is going to be within about 5 years. He even made a video on his old self like iDubbbz did. Hunter has always been a grifter. He used to make anti-SJW content when that was popular. He made videos on Gamergate whilst self-admittedly not even knowing what Gamergate was. He garnered a large amount of success through this grifting. However, at a certain point, he was groomed by a small streamer called Vorsh.
It is possible for an adult and a child to have a sexual relationship and for it to have positive outcomes.
He goes into the Vorsh complex, meets a girl, then comes out forever changed, immediately turns on his own audience, immediately reverses all his public opinions, essentially destroys his entire career in a week by claiming that big tech doesn't censor right-wing opinions, despite the fact that he has had videos on his channel removed for expressing his right-wing opinions. Then he starts shit-talking Nick Fuentes whilst simultaneously ducking a debate with him. A bunch of Nicholas Fuentes' alt-right cuck friends are currently crying their little eyes out over the fact that I think conservative censorship is an overblown victim mentality. Shouldn't you guys be working through your emotional issues after your wife ditched you for black guys?
That one didn't age quite so well.
On their platform? Sure. If you heard it here.
This is what I imagine hell is like. They say that private censorship doesn't exist, and then when somebody gives them an example, they go, oh no, it's a private company. They can do what they want.
Okay. All right. Well, who's to decide? The companies that determine the TOS. Pretty easy not to slur.
You want that to happen? You want up companies to do whatever they want? Okay. Hey, you want a pizza, man? Yeah, I want a pizza. Let me sort that one out for you. Why are you, why are you doing it out there on the streets? You might be the big man, but in here, within the four walls of Antonio's, you are my bitch! You can't do this. You can't do this. It's illegal. Oh, private company! Private company, I can do whatever I want to you. Now, put on this dress. Watch how this man's physiognomy deteriorates over time. Using AI, we can determine what he may look like in a few years' time, and here it is. Hunter's big thing in debates was to pull up a picture of himself and his wife and say, I'm the Chad. I live the trad life, and they live the mad life. As it turns out, he was actually living the sad life with a bad wife. This black guy called Kingston Hawk, you can already tell where it's going once I said black guy. He lost a debate to Hunter, right? And then he set up a villainous plot to ruin his entire life. He started talking to the guy's wife in DMs, rizzed her up, got her talking about Hunter's shrunken balls and erectile dysfunction, convinced her to start an OnlyFans where Hunter was in the videos fucking her. He then critiques Hunter's sexual performance to his wife in the DMs, whilst Hunter's wife is talking about how badly she wants to fuck him. This culminates in Hunter's wife wanting to be paid $7,000 in return for her participation in what we in the industry may call an interracial piss gangbang. So basically, he won the debate.
Almost anything. I draw the line at drinking/eating urine or feces. I'm fine to have them pee on me though.
Oh, well, there you go. Not the eyes of the mouth. That's a no-go. That's good, isn't it? You know, at least she's still got a dignity. Imagine you're losing a trans debate, and then you just turn around and hit him with the, I'm fucking your wife. And then you start pulling up nudes. All of the nudes in his video, by the way, were completely uncensored. He didn't censor fucking any of them. fully visible. The reason he released it was because some fucking dude in his DMs or something told him that they were chatting shit behind his back. And then the girl didn't respond to any of his messages for like a fucking hour. So he just leaked every single nude he had of her publicly.
She just wants to fuck mad dick.
Oh my god.
About me is I told her stories about when we was in high school, how we had homies that were girls, and we weren't possessive over them. Like, you could come to the crib, fuck me one day,
oh my god,
the other homie the next day, and you were still accepted amongst the crew. We just shared all the girls with everybody.
We were not possessive of these women. We treated these women like dogs. That being said, don't you ghost me, you bitch. Hunter's been coping over this one hard. He does not want to admit that all his haters were right. They said for years, this woman will ruin your life. She'll cheat on you. She'll leave you. And you know what? They were right the whole time. Carissa and I did OnlyFans work together for a bit, but getting paid to have sex with my then wife is nothing short of a baller move. I don't even fuck without making money. Your wife needs to be paid to have sex with you? I don't know why you're bragging about that. Any screenshots showing Carissa showing interest in sexual engagement with other people was after we had separated and agreed to divorce. This can be verified by comparing my tweet announcing the divorce and the dates aligned on any messages. People did check, and the messages were from before the separation. He later walks this back and claims that he was aware of the messages the whole time, which makes him an even bigger cuck. Lastly, the OnlyFans thing was meant to be anonymous, so the scumbag who made the video and spread his false narrative also violated her privacy and broke the law by spreading revenge porn. He also walks that one back and claims that the images weren't from her OnlyFans.
People are saying, like, weren't they already available? But no, they actually weren't. Those pictures were not already available on OnlyFans.
So the final story is, she sexted the guy, took private nudes and then sent them to him, described in great detail how they were going to have sex, told him she wanted a cream pie gangbang, told him she was bringing in dudes from Tinder to have sex with her, told him she wanted to fuck a camel, and was talking about how Hunter had performance issues, all before the divorce. And Hunter was completely aware of all these messages, and in his own words, he sees absolutely nothing wrong with this, and only insecure betas think otherwise. Verdict: he's a cuck. He was also making wojaks about his divorce. Man was straight gonna go into magistrate's court like, Your Honor, as you can see on this diagram, I have depicted myself as the Chad. You have completely escalated things between wife and I. You completely invaded her privacy by making that video, and you have helped put her in a horrible state. She's everything to me, and to see her so hurt by your shitty actions hurts me. Be a man and do what's right. Bro, imagine suing someone on behalf of the wife that cheated on you with the guy you're suing.
I don't know. I usually am pretty vocal if I feel that I'm getting, like, fucked over. So I don't know why I would just be over here, like, playing, like, mad defense for my wife who actually cheated on me and secretly threw me under the bus.
Well, you're doing it. So, there's been another Destiny clone defending Hunter called Stardust, and they are a woman, so less capable than your average Destiny clone, and it's already a low bar. She's been in the fucking trenches. She says Kingston fell in love with Carissa, which means literally nothing. She says Hunter knew the whole time. Why is that even a point? Literally just makes it worse. They're claiming that Carissa was scared and pressured into it.
Sexting, and I don't know how much of that was sort of coercive, like led to a point where there was pressure, because I think that you showed DMs where it was pretty obvious that Carissa was like, please stop, you know? It's like, please stop doing this. Or it was pretty obvious that she was uncomfortable with this guy continuously, like, asking her for stuff.
Come on. Are we being serious right now? If she's fucking scared of him, why is he her first go-to call when she's trying to set up a piss gangbang? Would you really trust someone who you believe to be a borderline sex offender to set up a gangbang for you? What a fucking stupid lie.
I am not able to satisfy my wife in bed, and that I'm a two-pump chump.
But people are interpreting that as saying that that means I was inadequate. It's like, wait, no, read the message again.
I had no idea. This was, of course, news to me, as I was hearing that my wife said that I was inadequate, didn't satisfy her, and was a two-pump chump.
That's not what it said. It didn't say I was inadequate. It said the opposite.
I'm not a two-pump chump, okay? I'm a three-pump chump. Let's be nice, okay? But seriously, people are lying. She wasn't even talking about me. She was talking about her ex, who I already knew was a two-pump chump, who I also would joke about with her.
Oh yeah. We all have that ex that couldn't come that she talks about with the black guys in the DMs. He's like, we would sit by the fire and she would tell me all about her ex-boyfriend who couldn't satisfy her. An ex-boyfriend who just so happened to also not be able to come, but in like a bad way, you know. When I did it, she loved it. It was like awesome when I did it, you know. But when he did it, it was like, lame. And I know I was described in the exact same way by another girl, but you know, she was talking about another guy. I come real good. I'm coming all over the place. Unlike this other guy, whoever he is. Fucking loser. Anyone else, I might feel bad for him, but this guy, he's so fucking smug. It's so cathartic to see this smug prick that spent years bragging about his marriage and calling himself a Chad and everyone else cucks, trying to explain on stream that technically, if you look at the definition of cuck, he's not a cuck.
People are claiming that I got cucked. Again, I mean, I hate to be the, like, actually guy, but, like, if we want to look at the fucking, definition of the word, nobody was cucked. Nobody got cheated on. Nobody watched their partner get fucked. Nobody allowed their partner to get fucked. Nobody did it for their own pleasure. None of that happened.
Also, he cheated on her first. Back when he was a Christian, he got her pregnant and then left her for another girl who described him as having really small balls, like the smallest I've ever seen. He also wrote her a rap.
Should I keep it? I don't know. Should I fuck her? I don't know. Should I buy it? I don't know. Got invited? I don't go. Should I wear it? I don't know. Should I smoke it? I don't know. Should I drive it? I don't know. IRS? Bitch, I don't owe.
And then at some point he went crawling back. Someone once paid Carissa $1,000 to create a video of her calling them daddy.
Daddy.
He then released that publicly and she flagged them down. She also claims, quote, I've emotionally abused people before, and she once told Hunter that she was pregnant as an April Fool's joke. So yeah, she was a real fucking keeper.
Me and Carissa were very compatible at first, and I also think that it was the right decision for us to be married for the time that we were.
But that marriage was actually a cataclysmically shit idea. You claim you discussed divorce for 1.5 years.
Me and Carissa will both tell you that we have been discussing the idea of separation for at least the last 1.5 years.
And you've been married for free. You've literally spent half your marriage discussing divorce. In conclusion, Hunter Avallone is a cuck. What I will say is that these beta males have got to be the most confident people around. I'm serious. Can you imagine getting cucked by 5 black guys at once and then still going onto Twitter and chatting shit? If that was me, I'd leave the internet, change my name, get plastic surgery to look like another man, move to Switzerland, and then become the doctor of like a small village.